Hebrews 11. Let's look in at verse 24. By faith, we'll read 23 as well as a precursor to 24. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months by his parents because they saw that he was a proper child. And they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he came to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of reward. There's more about Moses there, but what we want to focus on this morning is Moses delaying his joy, refusing to grab at what was in front of him for what was really important later. We're in a time of that gratifying your desires is probably the number one thing in this world we live in today. I have my needs and I will get them met, you hear. My children are doing this, my children are doing that, my children need me to be there on Saturday to watch them play ball, my children need me there on Tuesdays to help them get their lessons for Wednesday, but I have my own needs for here. I have needs of my own. There's nothing wrong with having needs. There's nothing wrong with having your needs met. But oftentimes we're doing it at somebody else's expense. And so we want to talk a little while this morning about selfishness. It's a bad word, I know. It's not a four-letter word, but it's a pretty bad word. A little too big for most of us to swallow. I will not deny that we all have a little selfishness in us. I think everybody's got it. We all got a little larceny in us. I think we will all lie on occasion. So I don't think we're surprising anybody to tell you that we all have some selfishness in us. But we're in a world where selfishness is just, it is rampant. It is just rampant. Nobody's thinking about anybody else. Even manners are the exception and not the rule anymore. Manners used to be an okay thing, but now it's kind of unusual. Just read you a tad here from a book called Me, Generation Me, by a lady called Jean Twenge. You can look it up on at generationme.com if you like. I haven't read the book. Not caring what others, this is a quote from a book about Generation Me, not caring what others think may also explain the decline in manners and politeness, because we no longer believe there is one right way of doing things. Most of us were never taught the rules of the etiquette. Most etiquette was developed to provide something often lacking in modern society: respect for other people. Isn't that amazing? That's a pretty good little indictment of what's going on today. We were in a restaurant yesterday and ate a meal, sit down beside a table that had previously been occupied by about 8 people. We were over here on the other side, but all the food and all the leftovers were still on the table, which in itself is impolite for a restaurant to leave somebody else's stuff. So there's a table here right behind us, there's a table here right beside us, still have food on it, even though the people had been long gone. That in itself is impolite, just for a restaurant to do that. On the other hand, I felt like the little girls would eventually get to clean it up, and they did, and here was the exceptional thing. One of them came and apologized for it being there. That was highly out of the ordinary. That she would have enough politeness to understand that that was an impolite thing to have happened, and then secondly, to have even apologized. Because you go to the stores now and buy things, and if it's a person under 30 that's selling it to you, unless they've had some training by the store, they will rarely say thank you. They will rarely say thank you. It's like, I'm here and you ought to be thanking me. Or it's like, I'm here and I'm doing you a favor by even being here to take your money. Where most of us grew up kind of feeling like that if I put money in your hand, there need to be some kind of word of thanks to be exchanged right there. And the person who needed to be doing thanking is the one who took the money into their hand, not the person who gave it out. And oftentimes when they hand you your little thing, because nobody's being polite, you just are a little over polite, you thank them for handing you the stuff. Here's your bag, thank you. At least I got my bag. So I want you to talk to me about selfishness. Moses did this unselfish thing. He could have been Pharaoh's grandson. He could have been the king in 20 years. But when he came of age, he knew his blood, he knew his heritage in that regard. And so he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. And you understand what that means. It's not just rejecting a title that we're talking about here. This is a rejection of all that comes with it. I mean, if you adopted me and you were rich, I might kind of want to stand around and keep my hand out. I might want to share. We're real big to stand on our rights. I have a right to that. Moses rejected his right. He rejected his right to do the thing that was right. He refused to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. That would have been selfish. I can be a playboy. I can drive a Rolls Royce. I can have big things.